So for somebody listening who wants to start this strategy themselves, what are the things that you would suggest they start with to get the ball rolling?
I mean, first and foremost, you got to have cash. I recommend people have at least a couple $100,000 of cash first, just so you don't go all in on one passive strategy. I really do believe that there should be a limited amount of diversification. I say limited because some people like, I'll throw 25,000 here, there, and like just throw it all over the place with all kinds of people. I don't believe in that. I believe finding a few good people you trust, right?
Yeah.
Building your network. You can either build your own, like I had to do over the years, or you borrow somebody else's network and use theirs, right? And that's what a lot of our clients are doing is they're saying, hey, I don't have to go and find and spend hours and hours searching for people and seeing who's actually the good players versus the charlatans and the fakers and all that kind of stuff, the posers, so a lot of times people will use us for that. But, again, that's the hardest part. Once you have those relationships in place, then it's just a matter of, okay, what's going to be right in my investment portfolio? How do I diversify in different places? I even tell people, you focus on cash flow versus growth because, for example, if people are looking for growth, cool, maybe a turnkey property could make sense, because cash flow is not going to be strong right now. Even out in the Southeast, it's still, you make 4 or 5% cash on cash, you're pretty happy. But when you factor in all the other returns, especially when there's appreciation and everything else, it could still beat a lot of other passive strategies over time.
Yeah.
Same thing with like, if they're more focused on cash flow, it might be like, let's look at some debt options, like some lending options here. And what's the right kind of lending? Do you want to be on an individual note where there's some more security and paper backing it? Or do you want, something more like a fund where you may not have, you're not on a specific property, but at least there's some diversification among the notes that you're invested in, right?